Welcome to this special edition of Boots on the Ground. I'm your host Yair Pinto, and together with my crew and Mati Shoshani, we are going behind enemy lines this morning deep into Syria to bring you all the truth about what's happening there and how it affects Israel. But first, let's go to the headlines. For now, the IDF operation to take control of Gaza City is continuing. Tanks and fighter jets are pounding Hamas positions in the southern part of Gaza City, while ground forces have begun to move into the outskirts. While Hamas has signaled its acceptance of partial of the deal to release the hostages, the IDF is preparing the ground for the maneuver in the heart of Gaza and sent out mobilization orders to about 60,000 reservists. Today, together with Mati Shoshani, we'll bring you a boots on the ground report and the latest headlines from a field hospital that the IDF is protecting in Syria and is operated by Christians to support minorities that were affected by the jihadist forces that are loyal to the El Julani regime and have attacked and massacred the Druze communities in recent months. So, stay with us for this broadcast that will show you firsthand the truth on the ground. But first, here is a quick update on some of the things that are happening in Israel that slipped through the cracks this week. The understandings between Syria and Israel are almost complete. Israeli Minister of Strategic Affairs Ron Dermer, the Syrian Foreign Minister, and American envoy met in Paris and in Boko also over recent weeks. And according to reports from these meetings, Syria and Israel agree on about 80% of the details in the emerging agreement for southern Syria. The report also says that no humanitarian corridor will be set up between Israel and Es-Suwaida, but the IDF will continue to hold strategic areas and a large buffer zone. As previously reported, Israel is weighing the costs and the benefits of two options for resolving the conflict in the Gaza Strip. The first option is a full conquest of Gaza City, and the second is a deal with the terrorist organization Hamas. The conquest plan includes entering into action in the coming weeks with regular soldiers and calling up about 60,000 reservists, evacuating about 850,000 residents and setting up aid centers and then a ground and air maneuver to capture the city. If things continue on that course, a total of about 130,000 reservists are expected to be mobilized. About 5 divisions are expected to take part in the evacuation of Gaza City. Most of the regular forces will be included as well. Preliminary notices have already been sent out for the mobilization of the troops, and a much larger call-up of reserves is scheduled for early next month. And meanwhile, Israel is trying to convince the United Nations to set up a large field hospital south of Gaza City to treat the large amount of residents that will move south from Gaza City. And according to security officials, it does not look like Israel is close to a partial deal, but the assessment is that if the IDF keeps operating with full force, there is a chance for positive developments in the negotiations. If it becomes necessary to proceed to the full conquest of Gaza City, the operation will be called Gideon Chariots II. And there is hope that if this operation proceeds, maybe this time Hamas will be defeated for good and there won't need to be any more operations in Gaza. On the northern border, near where we are standing right now, the IDF eliminated a Hezbollah terrorist cell this week that tried to rebuild terror infrastructure. Israel is insisting on concrete steps to disarm Hezbollah, and it seems that the Lebanese government is at a very tough crossroads. In this broadcast, we will go in with IDF forces into Syrian territory to a field hospital that is protected by the IDF to show you the truth firsthand on day 685 of the war against Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis in Yemen, the Shia militias in Iraq, and all the other armed groups in this region that are operating under the control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps in Iran. But a moment before we begin, guys, help us share the truth, boots on the ground style. We are now from Syria, so give us a like, leave a comment, and most importantly, hit that subscribe button to help us reach more people around the world with the truth from Israel so that they will know how to pray for the situation. Today, we are entering into Syria. Me, Mati Shoshani, Tomer, and Sam. We geared up with helmets, bulletproof vests, because where we're going sometimes, there are very, very hot areas, including terrorists and enemy states that do not like Israel and do not like journalists in general. So we are going deep behind enemy lines into Syria, also known as the Wild West of the Middle East, to look straight in the eyes of what the Islamic terrorists did to the minorities in southern Syria. I'm talking about massacres and the murder of innocents, attacks and humiliation, the style of October 7th, the murder of Christian and Druze minorities, which serves as a warning to all of us. And today, we will show you the real face of the Islamic terrorist who threatened Israel's border. But before that, the main points of our report today are: this week, the IDF presented the plans for the operation to conquer Gaza City. And according to the plan, the IDF will evacuate the population from the city, impose a siege on Hamas units that are still deployed inside the city, and after artillery and air bombardment, the ground forces will move in to take full control of that area. The operation's name will be called Gideon's Chariot 2. And later today, on Thursday, the plan will be brought for final cabinet approval. As I said before, notices have already gone out to more than 60,000 IDF reservists with a reporting date in 2 weeks. Another 70,000 reservists who are now in active duty will receive notices soon that their service is extended by another 30 to 40 days. At any given time in the campaign, about 130 reservists will be operating. Most of the fighting and the maneuvering will be done by regular troops, and the reservists will operate in a supporting role in the envelope around Gaza City. The decision on the reserves was made up after deep discussions on the force structure needed to continue the fighting, and it was approved by the defense minister after all the implications were presented to him. This is not an easy decision, as these reservists have jobs, families, and other commitments that many of them have already spent hundreds of days away from their commitment, from their jobs in the past 22 months. But once again, the hope is that this will be the last major effort needed, and when it's over, there won't be any more need to fight Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Even though the operation to take full control of Gaza City has not yet begun, and even before the final approval of the plans, the IDF is not waiting and is acting all the time in order to meet the goals that are set by the Political Security Cabinet. And on that note, Division 162 forces started the encirclement moves in the northwestern part of Gaza City, with the focus of this operation in the Jabalia area this week, and additionally, in recent days, Division 99, including the Nahal Brigade and the 7th Brigade, has been operating in the Zaytun area on the southern outskirts of Gaza City. At the same time, the Givati Brigade is also maneuvering in Jabalia. And according to reports from the Gaza Strip, forces have already entered the Zaytun neighborhood with tanks and other vehicles and are carrying out significant artillery fire in the area and are demolishing buildings that are used by Hamas. Significant fire was also directed at Hamas positions in the nearby Sabra neighborhood in parallel with the softening from the Air Force. The IDF confirms that dozens of terror infrastructure were destroyed in the Zaytun and hundreds of terrorists were eliminated. Reports in Arab media say that the IDF is using in the area robotic tools loaded with explosives that are sent remotely to blow up terror buildings in the sector. The operation to take full control of Gaza City and eliminate the remaining Hamas forces currently operating there is expected to last many weeks, and the IDF is preparing accordingly. And at the same time, in the coming days, the IDF is expected to start moving the population from Gaza City southward within defined humanitarian corridors, and there will be no screening through culverts, so even terrorists will be able to flee the cities before the forces enter. But at the same time, more food distribution and humanitarian aid centers will be set up across the Gaza Strip, and field hospitals will be established. And also, existing hospitals will be prepared to receive the additional civilians. And earlier this week, during an operational learning conference, the chief of the IDF, Lieutenant General Eyal Zamir, told his troops, "We are at a turning point in this war, ahead of moving to the next stage in the Gideon's Chariots operations that is centered on deepening the blow to Hamas in Gaza City." Gideon Chariots is an operation with many achievements that shaped the reality in the Gaza Strip. It defeated Hamas in the places where it operated, built a foundation for the next moves, and strengthened the security for the southern communities. And we will act with power and professionalism as we have done until now. We will continue to act and create the conditions for realizing the release of our hostages. We will take every decision with responsibility and great care. IDF sources said that the operation is expected to last a long time, so reserve rotation will take place during the year, and another rotation of called up of reserve units in November, and then another one in December to January. However, the IDF said it is ready at any time to stop according to the political echelon's instructions if a decision is made to end the fighting. And speaking of which, Egyptian democratic sources assess that the lack of real pressure from the United States will lead to failure to reach a new ceasefire agreement, and noted that Israel may again place obstacles that will prevent signing this agreement. The sources told the Lebanese newspaper El Akbar that Cairo is working with Qatar to increase contacts with the United States of America and to persuade it to seriously support the New Deal outline. An Egyptian source told El Akbar that the diplomatic efforts focus on expanding the complexities that prevent an immediate comprehensive deal and on the logistical difficulties that Hamas is facing, in addition to the inability to reach the locations where all the hostages are being held during this fighting. Guys, this situation is still unfolding, and we need to share the truth of what's happening. So that's why we're going to the Gaza Strip. That's why we are reporting from within Lebanon, from within a Hezbollah terror tunnel. And today, that's why we are here, entering Syria, to share with you the truth of what's happening and what you should pray for. So guys, if you want to help us, share the truth, because there are so many lies going on around the world. So first of all, you can like, you can leave a comment, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. And guys, if you want to do more, we started a campaign to stand with Israel. So you can visit us at www.tbn.org/standwithisrael and support our work and help us create more content from Israel, boots on the ground style. So we are waiting on the border to get the official approval from the IDF general that is in charge of this area. And then we're going to start our drive into Syria, into a hospital that is treating those that need help in Syria and is operated by international volunteers from around the world. And this entire area is now under IDF control. So this hospital is also protected by the IDF troops. and they are making sure that there are no radical elements in southern Syria that can harm the Jewish state of Israel. So guys, in the meantime that we're waiting, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We've been telling you about the importance of knowing what is truly happening on the ground in Israel so that you'll know how to pray for the situation. Today, me, Mati Shoshani, Tomer, Sam, and our team are here on the ground making sure that we tell you the full story of what is happening in Israel, in the Middle East, so that you will have all the information and know how to pray for the situation and how to pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
גם אני רואה פה את החיילים, אין לי שנאה, אנחנו לא... הכפי המגנה... היה כאן, היה דבר סומר. מתי אתם רואים את הכתבה?
We have now entered into Syria, and we are waiting for the convoy to reach a hospital that is operated by the organization Friendships, that is providing humanitarian aid, food, and now medical support to the people in need in Syria. And as you can see, the IDF is in control of this area, is providing security and making sure that terrorist elements do not get close to the border with Israel. We've just passed a trench that the IDF dug all across the border between Israel and Syria to make sure that trucks and military cars and personnel cannot invade the northern part of Israel through Syria like we saw on October 7th. So the IDF is still constructing this defensive barrier to make sure that no invasion can go as fast and as quick as Hamas did on October 7 into our territory, also from the border with Syria. We know that Syria is in a very, very tough situation. The government of Al-Julani is not stable, and it's also supported by militants, by extreme radicals that are linked to Al-Qaeda and others. עם כזה ווקי טוקי אזרחי?
לא, זה שלום.
So we just arrived inside Syria, and we are on the Quneitra side of the Israel-Syrian border. We arrived in a hospital that is operated by the Friendships organization that is providing humanitarian aid to the people here.
Let me contextualize where we are. We're in what's been a battle zone for 15 years.
Yeah.
This is a region that's been torn by wave after wave after wave of civil war. We're in what is Syrian Quneitra, which is an old village. Every building here, and I think we can show this in a second, has shelling holes and bullet holes on it. It is an active war zone. And we're here filming with the people that are on the ground trying to help these individuals. We had to come in with the IDF to get help from them in coming in. And they're securing us for fear of our safety because of our connection to the country next door, which is Israel.
Exactly.
So this is a very, very tense place to be in, a very tense moment and time. We're relaxed, and that's in part because Yair and I are not on the safe side of life.
Yeah, plus also we know the situation, and now we've been into Gaza, we've been into Lebanon, and now we're in Syria. We want to show you what's happening on the ground. And just to emphasize where we are, the ISIS Nusra terrorist organization was controlling this area. Jabhat al-Nusra.
Jabhat al-Nusra, yeah.
Were controlling this organization, this area, not long ago, a few years, and then Al-Qaeda, and now it's part of the IDF area of security on the northern border of Israel, southern border of Syria.
Yes. And just to show people, maybe we can swivel the camera. Show them that building over there, Yair. Every building here is shelled. Every building here was, I think only you have a mic that's working.
Okay.
Every building here was hit, and the people here are living in what we call abject poverty. These places there doesn't seem to be a viable economy. It's very, very reliant on the aid coming in, heavily reliant on the aid coming in. And these people, our good friends Don and Sandra from Friendships, they're the ones that are making this happen. They're the ones bringing in the aid into this area. Hugely important. And they're interestingly parked under the big mosque of the village. And that's not an accident, by the way. The reason they're parked under the big mosque of the village is because they're working in cooperation with the local population. As we drove in, the military representatives and them sat down for a quick chat with the muhtars, the heads of the village, or of the local clan. So that's where we really are right now.
And this organization is operated by Christians from around the world that come here into Syria to support those in need.
Yes.
This is the mission.
And this is not the first time I'm filming with these people.
Yeah.
Myself and members of our team about 8 years ago did the same thing in a different place in Syria. They've operated also elsewhere in this region. We'll let them talk about that. And what you really need to understand here is how alone they are in their operation.
Exactly.
Of all the things that are happening in this region and everything everyone is talking about, the only people who are coming and setting up shop here to provide medical attention, but I'd say as importantly, show love and care to these people is who?
The Christians.
A couple Christians who've been doing this for decades, who've come to this part of the world and want to help and show love to the people of Syria. And forget politics, forget agendas, forget everything that people love talking about and waving their flags of identifying with a cause and stuff like that. Guys, that's all nonsense. These guys showed up on the ground in Syria to show love and help to these people. They didn't just talk, they didn't just march on a campus and then go and have a latte in the cafe. They showed up here in this country to do what needs to be done.
Amazing.
And if you ask me, that's what Christianity should look like. That's what showing true love should look like. That's, by the way, what Judaism looks like too. Is showing love to the weakest elements of society.
Right.
Let's go walk around,
Yeah, let's see what's happening here.
We are here in Quneitra in Syria, and I want you to be able to understand the extent of the damage this area has experienced. Let me flip this camera around. I want to show you every single surface in this area bears the signs of battle. The walls have bullet holes, all the buildings have bullet holes, every single last one of them. Everything is shot up, everything looks like it's been bombed. And as far as the eye can see, that's sort of the scenery that you see. But what's interesting is, in my mind at least, is that over there, that's Israel. Those are the windmills of the Golan Heights. And it's just such a stark difference between what Israel has been able to experience and what the people here have been experiencing. A very dramatic difference in the quality of life.
Hello. Hello. What's your name? Isma? Once again? Can you show me what you're playing with? Nope. Nice. I like the colors, that everything is the same color. It's good. Show me, what did you make? It's a car. Thank you. Beautiful.
Omar? Nice to meet you, Omar. Ooh, is it good?
Come. Hey! Salam. Salam. Nice to meet you. What, Mary?
Mary.
Mary?
Yes.
I'm Yair.
Good to meet you.
I had to come to Syria to meet you.
There you go.
That's it.
Keep up the good work, brother.
Thank you so much. You keep up the good work. You're doing the work. You're doing the work. Thank you. So I'm here with Brad, and you're volunteering from?
From Canada.
What brought you here?
Well, I've been doing this sort of thing in refugee camps, and the opportunity arose to come here. So here I am for the last several months.
And what actually do you do here? Are you a doctor? Or are you?
No, I help manage the build of the camp, and then now I'm maintaining the generator, the ECUs, etc., the water levels, and making sure things are functional for the doctors as well as for our volunteers.
If there are people that want to help and support, what do you have to say to them? Is this meaningful work, and do you think that they should come and help?
They should definitely come. You can go to the website, friendships.org, and yeah, it's a great place to reach out and touch your neighbor and demonstrate love.
Well, appreciate so much. Thank you so much for what you're doing here.
Thank you so much.
As we're walking around here, some of the kids very much wanted us to see them jumping on the trampoline. That really shows you the humanity of what's going on here. It's not just about numbers, not just about packages of aid, but about being able to impact and bless some of these young, these kids that have grown up in a war zone. Many of them were born well after the war here started, and it's really impressive to see how much attention and care has gone into bringing aid to them, but also making them feel welcome. There's a lovely story here where the imam in the mosque, the religious cleric in the mosque, which is the building right across from this place, this center, sends his kids during the time of prayer to Friendships, knowing full well that these are Christian people that are working here, sends the kids to play during their time of prayer. And I just got to spend some time with these kids who really wanted to show me, one, their performance on the trampoline, and you really get to see how they get a break from the violent, the difficult, the unpleasant life that they've been experiencing here. So let me explain a bit of the background of what's going on here, because it's hard to grasp. Every house in this village is shelled, but it's not recent. I need to explain this. This area is on the third or fourth, depends who you're counting, wave of violence. They had, since the beginning of the Arab Spring, which was in the early 2010s, 2011 or so, depending on what part of Syria, a very long wave of violence where the Assad regime, which is the dictator that ruled this country for decades, comes and bombs these villages. And the houses here carry the scars of those attacks. And it doesn't end there. There's a very long wave of infighting inside Syria that really destabilizes this region, both financially and from a safety perspective. And then we get to present day, where recently HTS, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams, takes over the country in a violent coup, and they start killing the minorities in the country. They start with the Alawites, they continue with the Christians, then the Druze, and we're talking here about close to 150,000 people, according to certain reports, that have been killed in these waves of attacks. That is a lot of people in just about a year and a half, or maybe going on 2 years since this happened. That is the background to what we're looking at. That's the background to why the aid is so needed and so desperately in a backlog in this area. There's very few people on the ground, very little that's being done to help these people, and it's amazing to see those who are actually trying to do so. One more thing is the amount of damage on the buildings here is very substantial. You can tell that this area has seen many, many years of conflict, both in the fact that the streets are barely populated, but two, in the damage to the different buildings, the fact that there are barely any businesses that are open. This is a war-torn area, if ever I've seen one. We just got to spend time with the kids here. They're sweet, they're kind, they obviously wanted to engage, they wanted to play. They wanted us to see how much fun they were having. But they've lived a very, very different life than my kids or your kids. They've lived a life of difficulty, they've lived a life of challenge, a life where their country's been torn by war, for over a decade. And the only people here that are helping them are these amazing people, Don and Sandra Tipton, with Friendships, who built a clinic right here. Let me show you this. Under the mosque of the village is their clinic and their facility. Of course, we're here protected by the IDF. This is what we get to see here. These are the people that are here. It's been a very emotional and moving moment for me, just to see how much destruction is taking place in this region, how substantial it is, and how much the help is needed for these people. And I think if ever there is a question of what can I do, well, this is one of those places where I think any donation makes a difference. Any volunteer that helps makes a difference, especially for these kids, especially for the future of this region. I mean, there is a way to make a difference here. It's been a war-torn and battle-hardened region that needs help as much as anyone could possibly need it.
Guys, this situation is still unfolding, and we need to share the truth of what's happening. So that's why we're going to the Gaza Strip. That's why we are reporting from within Lebanon, from within a Hezbollah terror tunnel. And today, that's why we are here, entering Syria, to share with you the truth of what's happening and what you should pray for. So guys, if you want to help us, share the truth, because there are so many lies going on around the world. So first of all, you can like, you can leave a comment, and you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. And guys, if you want to do more, we started a campaign to stand with Israel. So you can visit us at www.tbn.org/standwithisrael and support our work and help us create more content from Israel, boots on the ground style.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel.